Today's episode of Reset to Reinvent podcast is brought to you by the Adams Group Agency, developing final expense leaders.
Hello, family. Welcome to Reset to Reinvent podcast. I am your host, Helen Blocker Adams, and we are now on episode 6 as we approach the last week of April 2025. And you know what? I read a statistic not too long ago, and it was a statistic about podcasts and the number of podcasts, and there are tens of thousands of podcasts all over the planet, right? And the statistic talked about the fact that if you have gotten 3 podcasts done in a row, published out there in cyberspace, then you are on to something special. Okay, so the fact that we are now on episode 6 makes me feel really, really good about that. And certainly, I am so glad that you have joined us for today. And I'm so excited that you have listened in or watched our previous episodes as well. And for those of you who haven't, oh my goodness, it's not too late. It's not too late. You can go to any of your podcast platforms and subscribe or like so that you can get it every week coming at 8:18 a.m. on Monday mornings. But check this out, guys. Our last 3 episodes were fire, absolute fire. Episode 4 and 5 was a part 1 and part 2. Okay. And then episode 3 was a single. All right. And I've got to tell you, okay, first of all, episode 3, our very first time having a guest on the show, which was really pretty cool. This is a woman that I've known for a long time. I mean, well over 25 years. And Mrs. Deanna Brown Thomas. Yes, she is the daughter of the late, great Dr. James Brown. And she was our guest for episode 3. And that was our very first time having a guest on our episode of Reset to Reinvent. And oh my goodness, guys, not only did she talk about the James Brown Family Foundation and JAMP, which is a young organization of men, young boys and young girls that's interested in music and singing and so much talent, and they're on their way to the Apollo very, very soon for a competition. And she talks about that. So if you want to hear more about that, go to episode 3. But what she also shared with us was a near-death experience. She had a near-death experience, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So episode 3, when we talk about reset to reinvent, folks, she has definitely had to do that. And I want you to tune in to episode 3 so that you can check her out and hear her story. Okay. And then for episode 4 and 5, it's a young lady named, she goes by Destiny Inspired. She's a life coach. She's a minister. She's just an anointed woman of God that, man, she set the place on fire. Her interview, our conversation was so intense that we had to put it into 2 parts. Okay. My producer was like, you know what, Helen, this has got to be 2 parts. We can't put all of this in just one episode. And the reason why, she shared so many bullets. She shared so much good stuff that you've got to sit back, you got to rewind it and then go back and then rewind it and get this and get that so that you can apply it to your life. It was really, really a fascinating 2-part series. And so that was episode 4 and 5. So if you haven't had a chance, I really want to tell you a lot more, but then I'd be giving all the goodies away. So no, you got to go back. You got to go back and listen to episodes 3, 4, and 5 so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And then do me a favor, shoot me an email to resettoreinvent@gmail.com. Let me know how you liked it. Okay. Let me know what nuggets you got out of it. Okay. I really want you to do that. And speaking of Reset to Reinvent, check out our website, Reset to Reinvent website. A lot of good stuff on there. You can go to our e-store and check out our books. We have several books that you can purchase and a lot of good information on there. So check it out, check it out, check it out. But those last 3 episodes were fire. And that's what Reset to Reinvent is all about. It's all about you. It's designed to empower women to rebuild and thrive after life's toughest challenges by providing inspiration, guidance, and actionable strategies for resilience. So this is all about you, and we're going to have guests, moving forward. We're going to do solo hosts like what I'm going to be doing today. So today, guys, is just you and me, you and you and you and me, and we're just going to have a good time over the next 30 minutes or so. And when I think about all of the travels and moving around that I've had with my family over the years, what I thought about the other day was that, you know what? I've been conditioned to reset and reinvent. Think about it. Okay. So in the first couple of episodes, I talked about some of the things that occurred in my life as a child. And it was during my travels. We traveled pretty much my first 16 years of my life. My formative years, we lived overseas. We lived stateside. So not only did my family live stateside, in several different states over the years. During the 20 years my dad was in the Air Force, but we lived in foreign countries. So when you think about resetting and reventing, can you imagine a new country, new language, new military bases, new friends to make, and then later having to leave them and then go and make new friends, new schools, new teachers? Because growing up, when I think about it, I don't remember any one teacher, not during my early years. Now, when I got into high school, there was 1 or 2 teachers that made an impact. But growing up, living overseas, the way we moved so much, there wasn't any one teacher that just stood out that I can say, that person made a dramatic impact on me. And, that's kind of sad, but, that was just the way it was. And so if you can imagine traveling all of those years and new ways of living, new culture, every 2 to 5 years. So that means every 2 to 5 years, I was resetting and reinventing myself. Okay. Wow. Wow. It's in when we came up with the name of this podcast, I wasn't really thinking about how that related to the travels. Now, what I did relate it to was some of the challenges that I've had, more so as an adult, and some as a young person where I've had to reset and reinvent. But really, I was thinking more of the lines of things that's happened to me, over the years as an adult. But when I think about the travels, being a military brat, it forces you to reset and reinvent yourself because you travel so much, at least my family did. My dad was just stationed 20 years in the United States Air Force. And so my brother and I, who's about a year and a half younger than me, we were both born in Hampton, Virginia. Okay. That was my dad's first tour. Okay, first assignment, if you will. And then at 3 years old, we moved to Bremerhaven, Germany. We lived there for several years, about 3 years. Then we lived stateside for several years in Key West, Florida, where my brother and my sister, who is now deceased, she died unexpectedly in January of 2019, and that'll be another story, another podcast. She was my rock, my only sister and my best friend, and she's gone, but I know she's looking down on me and just saying, "You go, sis, you go, sis, you go, sis." And so after we lived in Key West, Florida, then we moved to Brindisi, Italy. We lived there for 4 years. And then after that, my dad and family, we moved to Okinawa, Japan, where we lived for 5 years. Okay. My dad's last assignment was in San Antonio, Texas. And after he retired in April of 1975 is when we moved and settled in Augusta. Okay, so Augusta is home. Augusta is where my roots are. Augusta is where my mom and dad were born and raised. So it just kind of made sense to settle there, even though we traveled and could have chosen any place to set our stakes, if you will, for the rest of our lives. But it just made sense to come home to my roots. And so, as you can see, I've been resetting and reinventing all of my life. And of course, I just never really thought about it that way. I mean, how neat and cool is that? Moving every 2 to 5 years was a way of life for me. Okay, it was really a way of life. Meeting new people, making new friends, leaving old friends behind, and having pen pals. Ah, gotcha. Have you ever heard of a pen pal? Some of you may have, but most of you, if you've never traveled as much as we traveled, you may not even know what a pen pal is. And what was so fun about that is, every time we left a particular state or country, of course, we made friends everywhere. Everywhere we went, we made friends. And so, in order to stay in contact with friends, what we would do is write letters. Yeah. Now, for you young bloods, it's like letters. You're not even familiar with writing letters and stamps and envelopes but but you have to remember now, this was like 40, 50 years ago. Okay. 40, 50 years ago. Speaking of age and years, month of May is right around the corner. Okay, May 1st, which is a Thursday, which by the way is National Day of Prayer. May 1st, the first Thursday of every year, the first Thursday of every May, every year is the National Day of Prayer. And it just so happens that it fell on my birthday. How cool is that? So May 1st is my birthday, and I'll be a whopping 66 years young. Okay, I'm really excited about that. So when you talk about pen pals and writing letters and staying in contact with friends and over the years, now, of course, it didn't last forever and ever, but long enough for you to just have that connection, let your friends know that you like your new place where you are and wishing them well. And that was kind of my way of life for, pretty much all of my formative years. And so I was resetting and reinventing all the time. Check this out. We grew up only watching, especially living overseas, watching black and white television. When we were in Italy and in Japan, we only had one English television station. So we didn't have all of the luxuries that we have now with Netflix and Prime Video and Hulu and Tubi and all of that. We had one television station that was one channel that was in English, and that was the station that we watched every week and or every day, and that was our way of life. That was so cool. So we were constantly having to reset and reinvent ourselves. And here's what I want to do. I've got an assignment for you guys. I've got a little assignment. It's going to be an actionable strategy that I want you to employ, but we're going to deviate just for a second before I tell you exactly what I want to do. As I was preparing this week's episode 6, I had recently read a devotional. And I know most of you read devotionals. There's so many different devotionals out there, but one in particular, Our Daily Bread, is a staple in our household. I mean, we grew up on Our Daily Bread, and I read it every morning. Always good, inspirational and information to get your day going. But this one I thought was so good. I had to share it with you guys. Okay, you guys ready? You guys okay with this? All right, good. Thank you so much. Our Daily Bread. And this was Friday, April the 25th. And this is 2025. And it's very possible that many of you or some of you that's listening or watching may have read this particular Friday, April 25th devotional. And it comes from the book of James, James 1:3. And it says, you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. James 1:3. You know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Okay. Now the title of this episode is this particular episode is you. Let's see. I don't want to give you the wrong one. Let me make sure I got the right one here. Yes, the fire inside you. There's fire inside you. There's fire inside you. Okay. I want you to think about that. Okay. All right. So check out this devotional. The title of it is called Steps of Faith. 4 of us hiked through the beautiful Watkins Glen Gorge in New York. At times, we stood together in awe as we gazed in wonder at waterfalls and 200-foot cliffs. Other times, we had to stop to catch our breath and rest our hurting legs. And I know my legs would have been hurting, okay, as we climbed wet rocks and endless steps. When we neared the top, listen to this, listen. A hiker heading back down said, you've got only 10 steps to go of your 832. Let me repeat that. Some of y'all missed that. You've only got 10 steps to go of your 832. Oh my goodness, 832 steps. Maybe, this devotional goes on to say, maybe it was best we had known how difficult the journey would be, because we might have stayed back and missed the beauty of it all. Isn't that like so many of us, where we will got a game plan. We put our goals together. We got a game plan. We know what we want to do. We are determined we're going to get this done. And then, we've got the roadmap, and everything is just so, A connects to B, connects to C, all the way. And we just expect everything to be just perfect, no distractions, no slips, no falls, no disappointments. But check this out. God wants us to trust him, okay? Wants us to trust him. But yet too many of us, we want to know what do those 832 steps look like? Okay. Am I going to fall? Am I going to slip? Is it going to be hard? Is it going to be really hard? Or, I don't know, 832 steps. What does that look like? And so some of us don't realize, and some of us, most of us, we do. This devotional goes on to say the journey of life has difficult steps too. Oh yeah. And that's why we have to reset to reinvent ourselves, because everything isn't going to be always so smooth. And, I thought it was going to be this way. And, I didn't know it was going to be 832 steps. If they had told me that, then I probably would not have taken this journey. And then you would have missed seeing the splendor of all of God's creation. Can you imagine being that high up? Now I can't. Okay. All right. But some of you would have taken this opportunity, and then you're looking out and just admiring all of God's creation. But no, you wanted to know in advance if you were going to slip, or if something was going to happen, or were you going to get scared? Were you going to hyperventilate because you were up there so high and you didn't realize it was 832 steps? But you know what? James 1:2 says, consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds. Oh my goodness. Then the devotion goes on to say, why pure joy instead of pure agony? God knows, and we know that the testing of our faith produces perseverance. So if we'll stop and look, despite the pain, we may see the beautiful strength of character God is producing in us and those around us. And so when you think about, remember I told you earlier, I had a little assignment for you, okay? When we think about reset and reinventing and stepping out on faith and finding out, what you're really made out of, think about it. You've had to reset and reinvent yourself many times. You probably just never really thought about it that way. The same way different things are coming to my mind and my mindset of how this title of our podcast is just so appropriate for my life ever since I was a little baby, when they had to put casts on, break my legs to reset them and put casts so that I wouldn't have problems with my legs growing up. So you've been resetting. Now, you may not have had your legs broken as a little child, but you've had to reset and reinvent. So here's the exercise. I want you to write on a piece of paper. Let's see, a list, as many as you can think of all of the times that you've had to reset and reinvent. But even before you do that, write a paragraph or 2 or 3 sentences of what reset to reinvent means to you. Okay? What does reset to reinvent means to you? And then when you do that, it will help you just think about some things that you've overcome, some things that you've had to redo and step back and pull back and start over or rewind or whatever, reset and then reinvent. Could be a divorce, it could be a loss of a loved one, it could be a variety of things. I've had my share, and you'll hear more and more over the coming weeks. Okay, I don't want to give you all of me in one episode. We'll be here all night, okay? But that's what I want you to do. And I want you to know that you've got what it takes. There is fire inside of you. God ain't through with you yet. You're right. Yeah, I said ain't. That was for effect. God ain't through with you yet. And you've got to realize that whatever he has plans for you, you're still here. You have reset and reinvented yourself, and you're still here. And by golly, we're going to do everything we can with these episodes to help you get to next level, next level, next level. And I want you to help build your belief system that, you know what? Yeah, I do have some fire inside of me. I have had to reset and reinvent. And look at me now. And look where I'm going. Oh my goodness, this is exciting stuff, guys. Oh my goodness. So I love that. I love that devotional. Okay. So we're going to be we're going to be wrapping up in just a few, but you know what? One of the things that I promised you was that I would be providing a life nugget in each of our solo episodes. I have been writing Helen Life Nuggets and posting them on Facebook for, probably since maybe 2012. And I've collected them all. I've kept them all. And some of them you can find on my website. Okay, go to my website, reset2reinvent.com. Lots of good stuff on there. Go to the my e-store and check out my books and buy some of my books. Oh, those books are life-changing, guys. Let me tell you. So let me share with you this week's Helen's Life Nugget. Okay. Oh my. And one thing I can't remember, I think I wrote this one in 2015. That's 10 years ago, guys. I mean, my life, I have been such an obsessed with doing whatever I can to help people, whether it's through writing a book, whether it's through previous radio programs, television programs, holding events, selling life insurance, all of the things that I've done. And these life nuggets are powerful. So check this out. Some days come with unexpected possibilities, new opportunities to take stock of where we are and where we want to be. Sometimes the opportunities present themselves positively, and that's just the way we like it, don't we? We just want everything to be just so perfect. And oh, yes, well, I'm going to do that when this is no, everything is going to always be. But sometimes the opportunities present themselves positively, filled with joy, excitement, and potential. Okay. Other times, they come cloaked in sadness, confusion, or unwelcome change. Ugh. God is writing our stories as part of his larger story, positioning us where he needs us. His timing may catch us unexpectedly, but it is his timing nevertheless. Ooh, that was good. I got to repeat that. His timing may catch us unexpectedly, but it is his timing nevertheless. Where is he calling you to trust his timing today? So as you let that simmer and marinate, go ahead and rewind and listen to it again. Just think about the possibilities. Just think about exploring possibilities and opportunities in your life. Think about all of the ways that you have reset and reinvented yourself. Okay. And think about the word grateful. Just grateful to be here. Just grateful to be listening or watching this podcast. Okay. Stop complaining. Be grateful. That's probably going to be a topic one day. Just stop complaining. People just complain so much. But before we sign off, I got something I want to share with you. Something that, when you're in church and you get to the part of the service and they say, well, this is a part of the service where everybody can participate. Yeah, I know some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But I want to chat with you about our new support the show opportunity. So on any platform that you're on right now, what you can do is scroll down, look down at the very bottom of the platform that you're on, and you'll see some credits, credits and sponsors and that sort of thing. But you're also going to see support the show. Okay, and it may say support the show opportunity, but support the show. And there's going to be a link where you can go on, and for as little as $3 a month, okay, I think it goes up to 10, but as little as $3 a month, you can join our growing family. Okay, so what we want to do with that is be able to communicate with our growing family, with those who are supporting our episodes, our Reset to Reinvent podcast. And I want to be able to give you a shout out, your name and city on our episodes. And we're going to be looking at getting some goodies, getting some things that we, maybe gift cards or whatever, having a podcast like this and the opportunity to be able to do whatever we want to create something that's good for you and good for us. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to look at in the future episodes where we can give away some prizes, pull out a name out of a hat and that kind of thing, kind of fun stuff. But we need you to support the show. We'd love for you to support the show. And not only by supporting the show, you're showing us love. We're going to give the love back. Okay. We want to hear from you. Shoot us an email. When you go to our website, there is a page on there where you can send us some information. Maybe you have some compelling things that's happened in your life where you could possibly be a guest on our show. Okay. or you may have a suggestion for some guests moving forward. There's no limit. Communicate with me and let's see what we can do to make things happen. But we will love, and we're going to thank you in advance for supporting this show. Okay, absolutely, for supporting this show. So check this out, guys. You know what? I am so delighted that you were here with us today. Episode 6, wrapping up the month of April of 2025, leading into the month of May. And oh, by the way, not only May is my birthday month, and yes, it does start on May 1st. My birthday is May the 1st, but May is Mental Health Awareness Month as well. That's been something that I've been passionate about for quite some time. And I think we're going to have some episodes in the month of May that will focus on mental health and mental health awareness month, and share some information. So stay tuned for that for the month of May. And then we've got something really cool planned for, and lots of guests planned for the month of June. So we're lining them up, guys. We're doing this for you. We're trying to have episodes that will make you think, will make you feel like, yes, you're inspired, but we want to give you some nuggets that you can use and take away and be able to use in your life so that you can go to wherever God has for you to go. So once again, thank you for watching and listening. Episode 6 of Reset to Reinvent. So until next time, this podcast is all about you. Why? Because you were born to be inspired. Peace.
Reset to Reinvent podcast. We are living in uncertain times. Job security is becoming more elusive. People are losing their jobs. Companies are closing. But wait, have you ever considered a career as an insurance agent? Just a thought. Our much talked about ebook, 8 Reasons to Become a Life Insurance Agent, can help you decide if it's for you or not. Order your copy today. Visit our website, Reset to Reinvent, and click on the Reinvent store. Who knows? It may be the best decision you've made in a long time.